This is a short overview video of the Convergence Inspector software. This is our software package that comes with every device we supply. And within this software package, you can make experiments you want to do with your device, with your membrane, and you can analyze the data with it. The general idea of this software package is to have a lot of flexibility and automation power. When you start up the software, you always start at this screen, which is an overview of programs I made in the past, and you can already from here select the program and, if you want, edit it or start it. There are 6 tabs in the software. So the start is the start screen where you always start. Here you can manage your experiments. Also here you can change user information. This is information that can be useful to add to the data file later. So to look back what kind of test it is, what I used, what kind of test device I used. So in this pop-up you can add some information that you want to add to the data file. So later when analyzing the data, you can use this information to have a little extra background info and what the test was and what you wanted to do and who did it. So for example, in this case I put my username. So the software has a start screen to manage your experiments. It has a live data screen. Here you see 2 graphs with all data that's coming in. You can customize this. There's a flow sheet. So this is basically a simplified version of the PNID, so the process and instrumentation diagram. It shows the valves, the pumps, and when active, the active components will light up during an experiment. This is the most important part of the software. This is the program builder. So here you make your test scripts that you use to automate your experiments. And there's a tab for data analysis. So later when you have saved the files, you can open them here and analyze them. And there's a short tab for settings and information on what the system does, how long it's been running, version information, and configuration options. So that's the overview. So the flowsheet tab gives a process and instrumentation diagram of the system and shows you which parts are active by being illuminated in blue. So it is possible to manually control every component that is in the system if you want. Normally you try to make a test script or a program that does it, but if you want you can also manually open and close valves and give something a set point. So in this case I want this pump to have 10 kilograms an hour. I press apply and it goes. Also in the bottom you have an overview of all the data that's being read out in the software. So you see there's densities, counters, there's some membrane information filled in, and we have some pressures and flows. On the live data screen you can see the actual reading values of what is being read into the software. So in this case on the top you see some flows in kilograms an hour, and in the bottom graph you see some pressures that belong to this. So these graphs you can customize yourself, so depending on what you want to see you can select what you find interesting. For example in this case we want to see on the top pressures, flows, and on the bottom maybe, let's plot temperatures. We can select scaling, how we want to do it. So auto scale, so it will automatically make the graphs always fit. And we can choose colors for the graphs. There's much more options, also how long you could scroll back. So when you press accept it will update, and we'll now see we have the temperatures on the bottom graph and the flows on the top graph. So it's about 23 degrees currently and the flow is about 40 liters an hour. So the program builder tab of the software is the most important feature in our software, and here you can make your own test script. So the idea is that you can tell the software what it has to do and in which order. And to quickly go through which features are available, there's flows and pressure controllers. So there's pumps and pressure controllers in the software, and you can select them here, and you can give them set points. So you can give them fixed set points, like 10 kilograms an hour, but it's also possible to give functions, use ramping, so I can go up and down from 5 to 10 in 5 minutes. So there's all kinds of possibilities there. Then we have all kinds of valves in the system. They have a name, and we can turn the valves on or off. We can log data to file. We can basically specify what we want to log to file and how. And there's many commands regarding system status, giving pop-ups. I won't go into detail, but there's a lot of customization possible here. And we can use triggers. So this means we can do something when something happens. So we can, for example, say if a pressure gets too high, we want to stop. That we could say. But we can also say that it has to continue with a certain program when a pressure gets too high or too low. So suppose you want to backwash after the transmembrane pressure gets a certain value. You can do this with triggers here. To show you how fast you can start an experiment, I've made a program here that does feed stepping from 5 kilograms to 10 kilograms. So I press save, I go to start, I select my program, and I press start. And now the experiment is running. Now when I go to live data, I can see what is going on. So I see here my feed flow. I see the graph is a little high, up to 60. So we're going to turn off auto scale and put this to 10. So you see the feed pump is going to 5 kilograms an hour. I can also see where the program is, at what step, and how much time is left. So you can scroll through the experiment and see what it is doing. Also on the top you can see how much time is left before the experiment is finished. Also in the flow sheet I can see which valves and flows are on. So when you're done with your experiment, you can go to data analysis and analyze the data. So in this case I did feed flow experiments, so I want to see how this went. So we can see here the feed flow increased steps, and the temperature, which is constant during the experiment, and we have the pressure. So this was all I wanted to say as a short introduction to the Convergence Inspector software. If you want to know more, you can contact us and we can explain more. Summarizing again, our software package is intended to automate your experiments and this way let all tests run automatically. And with the program builder interface, give you as much as flexibility and freedom regarding to making your own test scripts.